Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. AMC is, a saga that continues to develop day in and day out. We had earnings, and if you guys did not see the video from last night, I don't blame you. It was like 10:30 when that video came out. We'll give you a quick recap on what earnings were like here in this video. But AMC stock dropped like a rock in pre-market. And that's because AMC is going to dilute shareholders again. So, we have a lot to get into in a short amount of time. Hit that like button as well as subscribe to the channel. Source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comments section. So, first things first, let's go ahead and jump into it, guys, with a quick recap of earnings. So, this article from Investor Place, as you know, Investor Place tends to be pretty dang negative on AMC. It's a pretty rare occurrence if they are positive at all on AMC. And this article states AMC reports stunning Q3 numbers. Here's why Wall Street is unimpressed with AMC stock. And you can see earnings per share posted an impressive surge to $2.28. But really, the drag on AMC stock last night, which AMC ended up closing in after hours down about 1%, was the ongoing not theater strikes, but the SAGRA strikes, the writers, actors, union strike, which they were striking for like months, right? AMC said, well, 2024 might not be that great because a lot of films are being delayed because of this strike. Well, what happened literally like 2 hours after AMC ended the earnings call? Hollywood actors strike is over as the union reaches a tentative deal with studios, and they stop striking as of midnight. So, yeah, this would have probably sent AMC stock much higher today. Much, much higher, because the earnings were just fabulous. I mean, way better than expectations. The company announced revenues hit $1.41 billion. This was higher than Q3 of 2019, exceeding Wall Street's estimates of $1.26 billion by 11.6%. The 25.2% year-over-year increase was driven by an increase in contribution per Patreon and 38.4% increase in theater attendance. AMC also surged on earnings per share. The theater chain reported EPS of $2.28, a significant improvement over last year's loss of $2.20 per share, and well ahead of analyst expectations for a loss of 18 cents. AMC actually had positive net income of $12 million, the second quarter in a row. AMC has been profitable. Now, Adam Aaron says they had $730 million worth of cash. This all suggests that we are well underway on our growth path to recovery from the ravages of the COVID pandemic. And, well, what'd you wake up to today? This article, AMC stock drops on plans for $350 million stock offer. So much for solid earnings. Yeah, well, no kidding. Quote, we intend to use the net proceeds, if any, from the sale of our Class A common stock offered by this prospective supplement to booster our liquidity to repay, finance, redeem, or repurchase our existing indebtedness, and for general corporate purposes, the company said in a filing. This is not the first time AMC announced it was selling stock this year. The company announced in September that it had entered into an agreement to sell up to 40 million shares of Class A common stock. And that's literally what they're doing again. Because, 40 million times $9 is $360 million. So roughly another 40 million shares are being sold onto the marketplace today. Now, AMC stock was down a lot more than where you are now. AMC is now only down 9.5%, 9.5%. In pre-market, you were down as much as 20%. And, you've recovered a little bit since then, like 50% of that loss, because of these rock-solid earnings. People are saying, hey, what's what's another 40 million shares dilution? AMC's now profitable. Maybe this could be good for AMC's business. I think that's what Wall Street is doing. Another factor that I would really like to point out is you don't have this court proceeding going on anymore. And I know the risk was this dilution and all of this, which is now actually happening. That court proceeding was just giving people a reason to be short, to be pessimistic. So a little bit less of that is happening now. AMC is trading a little bit more normal, relatively speaking. So I don't know what's coming next, but the fact that you are bouncing today from the lows and basically ever since regular trading opened, I mean, AMC stock has basically trended higher. This is a good sign rather than not. You're still down $1 per share today. You're still down almost 10%. So it's not like it's a fantastic day by any means. But I will tell you as well, the broad markets are not happy today. Okay, the broad markets are not doing well. When you look at the indexes tell you a grossly different story than what the markets are actually doing. If you look at a Fubo, just got a notification on this one, down 5% today. If you look at a what's another bunch of other stocks, I mean, we could go through this, but a lot of different stocks are doing poorly, and for whatever reason I can't think of the other ones. I think PayPal is doing okay today. I can't even type it in. PayPal doing okay today. Yeah, PayPal's up 1%. SoFi, which that one's surprising. SoFi is down 6%. I mean, Tesla's down like 5%. 4.7%. I mean, it's a pretty rough day across the board. Even a Dollar General's down 0.5%. These are names that I personally own that are just getting absolutely destroyed today. So AMC's not the only stock that is doing poorly. I mean, like 90% of my portfolio's in the red. Just doing pitiful. Okay. So I think in that context, if Fubo's down 5%, AMC's down 10%, AMC's diluting shareholders, raising $350 million of capital, I think that's maybe not as bad as it otherwise might look. If stocks were ripping today and AMC was down 10%, that would, I think, just be a little bit worse. Now, not to negate the fact that AMC is down 10%, that's still not good, but could be a little bit worse. At least that's what it's looking like. Now, let's take a look at the option activity here today so far for AMC stock. You have 12 orders totaling $684,000 with a positive order value of 44%. Put to call ratio sitting at 0.67. So, I mean, still pretty dang bullish, but definitely could be better here. If you're looking at the volume today, definitely seeing more puts being bought for the end of this week, for this Friday's expiration. Volume of about 68% or 58% calls, 42% puts. The open interest is about 36, almost 37% puts, and calls is about 63%. So volume is a little bit light on the call side today, a little bit higher on the put side than the total numbers that we're seeing for this week. Same thing for next week. You have open interest of about 69% and put open interest of about 31%. Today you have put volume of 45% and call volume of 55%. So you are definitely seeing a little bit more bears entering into AMC stock today. Not a drastic change, but still a change nonetheless. Now, take a look at these numbers. Again, take it with a big grain of salt. 6.18% short interest off free float. $123.39 million worth of short positions. Days to cover 0.58. 12.23 million shares that are currently sold short. 13.74 million shares out on loan. Cost to borrow 1.27%. Utilization of 31.01%. and a short score of 49.42. You do have a cost to borrow max of 6.17%. Cost to borrow minimum of 0.35%, cost to borrow average of 1.5%. So nothing too exciting over here. If you take a look at the Stonko tracker data, you do have 2,000 calls now in the money, 110,000 puts out the money, 31,000 puts in the money, and 37,000 puts out the money. This is the first time in a long time you have had more puts in the money than calls in the money, and you're still just seeing a lot more calls relative to puts for this expiration. For next week, you have 4,000 calls in the money, and about 81,000 calls out the money, 13,000 puts in the money, and 32,000 puts that are out of the money. So still very bullish on the Stonko tracker data. Obviously for this week, that's changed a little bit. Well, actually quite a bit with this 10% drop that you are seeing today. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. My personal opinion is, I mean, in the grand scope of things, this could be worse. Retracing from the lows is a pretty good sign. I think the bigger question is, does the market start to look at this as positive because AMC's earnings are getting better and they're actually adding money to the bank instead of losing money? Does the market start to look at this and say, hey, this could be good for AMC's business because they're no longer going through 100 million a quarter or 50 million a quarter? I don't know. That's a tough call. I think it's going to take a day or two longer to actually see that. But again, I will tell you from the bounce that we're seeing from pre-market, that's an encouraging sign. So let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comment section. I would also point out that AMC's biggest rallies, besides that stretch, that 9-month stretch from January to September, we had the court proceeding. Any other rally we've seen happened because of dilution. So just keep that in mind. Besides when we got, dilution during the court proceeding, that wasn't the case. But maybe it is this time around. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. I'm going to go tend to that guy because he is a vocal one this morning. So you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.